What up? This is Rama Screen, and in celebration of Willy's Wonderland, which is now available at drive-ins and on digital platforms everywhere, I'm here talking with the director of this new film, Kevin Lewis. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. My God, this movie is crazy wild. I had such a blast watching it.
Oh,
So much fun.
I'm so happy to hear that. I really am.
I'm gonna go straight to the $1,000,000 question here. It's
All right.
the burning question that's on everybody's mind, and if I don't ask it, they're gonna be pissed at me. Why why did you not have Nicolas Cage say a single line in this film? Is that how it was in the script?
Yes. So what's interesting is I'll take you back to the origins of the script, and then we'll talk about the dialogue and everything. Basically, what happened was Jeremy Daniel Davis, producer of Willie's, brought me the script. And what was kind of cool is his wife, Jess, who plays Siren Sarah in the movie, by the way, and she's great. She did an acting class with Geo Parsons. So she's the one that got the script and brought it to Jeremy. He liked it. He optioned it. He brought it to me. And I immediately fell in love with it. And I thought it was great. Geo wrote a fantastic script. And there was no dialogue for the janitor. And I just thought how interesting and creative it was. But there was dialogue at the very end when he's going to go attack Willie. He says one line. And we worked on the one line. It would change throughout the development. And I was like, this line has to be iconic. It's got to be something that people, and again, how can it be iconic unless people love it and then it becomes iconic, right? So, but it's got to, since he doesn't talk, when he says something, it has to mean something, right? And I was like, could it be, it can't, could it be a catchphrase, groovy, like Evil Dead and all that? Or it's like, what can it be? And so when we started shooting the movie, we talked to Nick, and Nick said the greatest thing. He said, the janitor doesn't need to speak unless he feels he has to, and he doesn't feel like he has to. And I was like, that's awesome. And so we were like, let's nix the line. Forget it. So if you notice, when he comes out of the kitchen, I do this like pushing on him, because I wanted the audience to go, oh yeah, here it is. He's going to say it. It's birthday time. He's going to say something, and he doesn't. And I just thought that was cool. So Nick really did not want to speak at all. And I think that's one of the things that attracted him to the project. He was channeling, he told me, Charles Bronson from Once Upon a Time in the West. It's one of his favorite movies. And we talked a lot about that, and like Valhalla Rising with Mads Mikkelsen. He was great in that. And so yeah. So there was one line in the script, and we took it out.
What about the janitor drinking soda pop and playing pinballs? Was that Nick Cage's contributions?
No, that was in the script.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Original script Geo wrote was it was a video game he was playing. And it would have been cool to do like an 8-bit, old style arcade game, But we're an indie film, and we didn't have the time, and so we came up with the pinball, and it was kind of cool. One of the producers actually came up with the idea of the pinball, and I thought it was a really good idea, and we could build it, And so hats off to those guys in Georgia. That's where we shot, and they built that pinball machine, and it was great.
And the timer, that's kind of like rounds at boxing match, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was in the script. Yeah.
That's
Checking
awesome.
his watch, the beep. Yeah.
Let's talk about the animatronics. Who came up with the design for these creatures? Because I noticed one of them has long, sticky tongue like a frog. The other one is sneaky, stealthy fairy. So talk to me about the process of designing these animatronics to cater to what their personalities are supposed to be like.
Well, Ken Hall created them,
Mm.
and he did an amazing job. And it was working with Ken and designing the creatures. So he would come back and we'd say we want this and that, and he'd do drawings and he'd say I was thinking this, and we really wanted eyes. My thing was I really wanted the eyes bigger, and the eyes meant so much because you go to Chuck E. Cheese, they close, like, open and close, open, and it just gives you that kind of little freaky feel. And so he put in the creature suits pulleys that the stunt people could move, and they can move their eyeballs and stuff like that. So that was very important to me. And I wanted to make him look, we wanted to make him look unique and different, like never seen him, but still fit. What I find is funny is you got the animation, right? And it looks kind of like Hanna-Barbera, Woody Woodpecker style. And then you got the creatures who look really nothing like the animation, right? The animation's cutesy or whatever. And if you look at Chuck E. Cheese and stuff, it's the same thing. The cartoon Chuck E. Cheese, the animated Chuck E. Cheese and everything. But then you go into Chuck E. Cheese and you see that Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, and he looks completely different and kind of scary, you know.
Mhm.
And I just thought that was really funny and true, So we did those animated characters, and they're on the pinball machine and the posters, and of course Willie. And but then you see the creatures, and they look a little different. Something's off. But yeah, Ken Hall did those, and he did an amazing job.
I noticed also that I love your styles in this film because, and the lightings as well, because I think the hallway is
Great.
red and
Yeah,
there's some
yeah,
other neon drenched feel to it as well. Talk to
yeah.
me about that.
Well, Dave Newbert is the DP, and Dave is just awesome. And we met on this movie, but I feel like I've known him since elementary school. I mean, he's
Mm.
just like that kind of guy to me. And we developed a shorthand. We knew exactly what each other was thinking, and saw the movie the same way. And I developed a shot list, it was a 70-page shot list, and we worked on it together. And we knew every shot of the movie, because I knew this wasn't a movie where I could come in and go, "What are we feeling today?" or whatever. We had 20 days, and so this movie was really well designed on shot, Dutch angle, whatever, lens, 50 mil, whatever. Like, we knew what, we did. We broke each set down, or exterior, interior, of color schemes and how they're going to look. And Molly Coffey was production designer on this, and her and her team did a fabulous job. And so when we got to Georgia, Dave and I presented Molly and showed her, and so we all kind of all worked together on that. So I wanted the rooms to be like candy colored cotton, kind of cotton candy.
Mm.
I call the movie Colorful Dark because it's kind of a dark movie. You got these animatronics and it's kids, and we're kind of turning it on its side, but it's also fun. It's a fun movie and stuff, but it's a colorful movie,
Hmm.
and I really wanted color, and I like the pastels. I thought the pastels and the purple, you know. Interesting story. The ending was supposed to be Willie fights the janitor in the rain, meaning
Oh,
the sprinklers come on.
okay.
And I had like 7 pages that day, and I was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I'm thinking, crew in the rain and shooting. What are we going to do? And I just decided, had an idea of the birthday time button and this confetti coming out, because that's what it would be, right? When someone's birthday.
Hmm.
And so we just switched it up and did the confetti. And it was like, I call it like the Technicolor confetti, right?
Mm.
And it kind of, to me, represented that color scheme of Willie's, with the purple, the magenta, and everything. So I wanted the movie to have this unique flavor to it. There's a lot of lens flares in the movie. We did that on purpose. I mean,
Mhm.
we actually, shot flashlights into the lens. I wanted to make it kind of otherworldly, and just to make it look different, muddy a little bit, grungy, you know, uh, feel like an '80s, vintage '80s picture, it's not taking place in the 80s,
Yeah,
but it has that 80s heart and soul to it.
definitely.
So,
And it looks very hypnotic. So congrats on that. I
oh, thank you.
My favorite part of any horror movies or horror comedies such as this are the death scenes or the kill scenes.
Yeah.
I'm aware that Nick Cage has jujitsu background, but the way
Yeah.
that his character fights the animatronics in this film is more like bar brawl, anything goes style. So
Yeah.
talk to me about shooting those scenes. Why that specific format? And was it equally challenging for the stuntmen inside the costumes to duke it out with Nick?
Mm. Well, Charlie Parrish was our stunt coordinator. He did a fantastic job, and loved Charlie. And it was decided early on. We decided to get stunt people in the suits. Now Ozzy was a puppet, but then the rest were suits. And we thought that was the smartest thing to do. Nick worked his butt off, on preparing for those stunts. I mean, he was in the gym with those stunt artists, and we developed a really kind of a messy
Yeah.
style a lot because there's a lot of ways you could shoot it. I mean, originally I had a really cool idea. The Willie fight, I wanted to be like Crouching Tiger. I wanted like you know they're in the air and they collide, and we're having the confetti and it's a slow mo and it's a punch to the jaw and maybe a fang flies out of Willie's and it flies the lens. Like, of course, you have all these grandiose ideas, and then they say, "Well, Kevin, you have 20 days to shoot." So it's like, okay, well, that's out. Uh, so that would have been a different movie. So I said, okay, let's embrace, what we have. And so it's really cool because Nick actually, he was telling me, I can't remember what he called it, but he kind of was, even as a kid, he loved martial arts, and
Mhm.
he developed like his own kind of style of martial arts. He had a really great name, and I was like, well, let's put some of that in. And so we all kind of just made a hodgepodge, of what we thought would be cool and what we could do. And then, of course, Charlie was like, okay, and then how about this and that, and just kind of finessing it, along the way. But I wanted the fight scenes to be different too. I didn't want to get bored, like,
Mhm.
okay, here he comes fighting another. So if you notice, every fight scene just it's different the way he does it with Artie, or Nighty Night, and so we had a lot of fun with that.
You know what I love the most about this movie is that Willy's Wonderland is giving the people what they want. It's like
Yeah.
we get what we come to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
I'm so
definitely.
happy you said that. I'll tell you, just seeing the reviews of Power to the People, right? I mean, I grew up loving Siskel and Ebert, and I grew up where, I was started making movies, and it's like you lived and died with the LA Times, New York Times, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. And it's like if that you get a bad review on that, like you're cooked, right? And I just love it. Like I'm talking to you, and the power to the people, man. This movie was. I made this movie for. I'm a fanboy. I love Star Wars. I still collect Star Wars figures. I've got Hot Toys and Sideshow and comics. I mean, I'm a huge comic fan. Silver Age, Bronze Age, Marvel, DC. I made it for us, man. I made it for the fans, people that love these kind of movies, these horror movies in the 80s, movies that you drive an hour and a half to that was playing in one theater, and you went and saw it with your friends, and I love that. And especially in this day and age with what's going on with COVID and the political stuff, it's like we need to we need to check our brain at the door and enjoy. What's wrong with that? There's read some reviews, some of these critic reviews. It's like you got to be just crazy to like this movie, whatever. It's like, well, couldn't call me crazy. I treated this movie like freaking Citizen Kane. And a lot of people look down upon it. Like, oh, it's just it's dumb animatronics. It's just Nick Cage, being animatronic. To me, it was so much more than that. And I love that Willie and the gang, people just dig these creatures and characters, and maybe they're going to be entered in the horror lexicon with like Chucky, and I mean that would be just a dream come true for me. And the janitor, I would always tell Nick, when designing the look of the janitor, I wanted the janitor to be iconic. I wanted kids to dress up as a janitor for Halloween, and that's we created that ring T-shirt. That
Hmm.
was like a shout out to the old Star Wars shirts of the '70s that I had, with the ring and like the decal and I just wanted to make a fun, cool movie. I've got 4 kids.
Hmm.
2 kids are teenagers, help me, right? And then I got 2 little guys who are 5 and 7, and uh, seeing my teenagers doing a watch party with their friends, like 30 of them the other day, it was just brought so much joy to me. And I was like, that's why I want to make movies. I want to make movies for them, movies for the college kids, man.
Hmm.
This is a college kid movie to go to the midnight theaters, and I just love that stuff, So
Oh yeah, man.
I'm sorry I went on a rant, but
No worries. I am with you there, brother. I've watched it
yeah.
twice and I'll watch it again.
Oh,
Trust me.
I'm so you made my day, really. You
So,
know?
for my fans at home, everybody go check out Willy's Wonderland, available
Yeah.
now at drive-ins and on digital platforms everywhere. Kevin, thank you for talking to me and
Thank
congratulations,
you.
sir.
I had such a great time. Thank you very much.
It's bonding time.